I hope you guys remember somewhere last year when North Korea decided to send some of their soldiers into the ongoing war in Ukraine. By the way, according to the Russians, if you see how the North Koreans are fighting, it is beyond what they actually expected. I've told you guys that when it comes to unaliving, I don't want to use the keyword because TikTok, or sorry, maybe YouTube might take down the video. When it comes to unaliving, the North Koreans, the Russians, the Chinese, they are very tolerant. These guys can basically sacrifice themselves for a cause. It is absolutely normal. And for those of you who don't know, North Korea and Russia, they share bond. In fact, they are very close. Once upon a time, during the Soviet Union era, these two countries used to work together. So way back in the Korean War, those of you who don't know, the Russians also fought hard to support the North Koreans. So it is not coincidence that the North Koreans today have decided to support the Russians in the ongoing war. So Vladimir Putin actually wrote a long letter to Kim Jong-un praising him of the decision he took to support Russia in the ongoing war in Ukraine, especially in Kursk. North Korea participation in Kursk was very, very, very crucial. In fact, they did help the Russian army very, 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 very much. By the way, let me read everything for you. Russia and DPRK strengthening military alliance and joint actions on the Ukraine front. This is from The Guardian. The Guardian posted this particular story. August 15th, 2025, President Vladimir Putin sent an official letter to chairman of the State Affairs Commission of the DPRK, Kim Jong-un, in which he highly praised participation of North Korean military personnel in combat operation against Ukraine forces. This was reported by the Central Telegraph Agency of Korea, KCNA, emphasizing that this address was timed to the anniversary of Korea liberation from Japanese occupation. In the letter, the head of Russian state recalled the historic combat cooperation of Soviet and Korea units in 1945. This is what I was telling you guys about. So Russia also helped North Korea during the Korean War in 1945. Let's continue. Noting that the bond of combat, brotherhood, goodwill, and mutual assistance strengthened during the war days remains strong and reliable today. Putin particularly emphasized that this was confirmed by the heroic participation of DPRK servicemen in liberating of the territory of Kursk region from Ukraine occupation forces. Exactly what I was talking about, especially in Kursk. In fact, I came across several reports of North Korea men. In fact, their style of fighting was completely different from the Russians. The Russians kind of like they fight, but they use drones more, right? But the North Koreans will basically go in with their body. They are not afraid to be unalived. By the way, let's continue. The North Korean contingent was officially sent to the front for the first time after the signing of bilateral mutual defense treaty in 2024 during Putin's visit to Pyongyang. That North Korea capital, I always find it difficult to pronounce it. Pyongyang or Pyongyang, whatever the name is. Take it that way. According to South Korea and Western intelligence, more than 10,000 North Korean soldiers equipped with their own artillery, missile system, and long-range missiles arrived in the combat zone. Exactly. This was true. But one of the main reasons why North Korea decided to join the war was not just to help Russia, but, you know, North Korea has been producing weapons for a very long time. But North Korea has never tested these weapons in real combat. Most of their weapons are just meant for show. They only test them That's all. So they've never tested them in realm combat. After the Korea War, North Korea has never engaged themselves in any war. So when it comes to war itself, they are inexperienced, and this was one of the main reasons why they decided to take part in the ongoing war in Ukraine. So when they went in, they didn't actually rely on Russian weapons. That was not what they did. They came in with their own artillery system. They came in with their own servicemen. They came in with basically everything from their own country just to test them. It's unfortunate they are testing these weapons against real human beings. By the way, according to Russian officials in phone conversation on August 12th, Putin confirmed Kim. Let me see. Let me take it again. According to Russia officials in phone conversation on August 12th, Putin confirmed Kim about preparation for talks with U.S. President Donald Trump, scheduled to take place in Alaska on August 15th. The Russian leader noted that the alliance with DPRK and its military dimension remains an important factor in the current configuration of international relations and the armed conflict. So this was a letter from His Excellency Vladimir Putin to His Excellency Kim Jong-un. Interesting. So the alliance between Russia and between Russia and North Korea continue to strengthen. Whether it is good or bad, it might be good, or it is good. Let me put it this way: it is good between Russia and North Korea, but this is actually bad for the West, especially South Korea. I don't think South Korea wants something like this at the moment. By the way, South Korea is also supported by America. So if North Korea is also supported by Russia and China, I don't think there is anything wrong with that. But this relationship dates back to the Korean War. America, France, Australia, the Western world. The Western world during the Korean War decided to support South Korea. So the only people who stood for North Korea was the Chinese and the Russians. There is one country that we don't actually talk much about, which is the Chinese. In fact, are you aware that the Chinese during the Korean War singly defeated America? They defeated a lot of countries together in the Korean War. That is a history for another day. The Chinese, we barely talk about them. The Chinese are very tough. Maybe you don't know, but the Chinese are very, very, very tough. Despite them deciding to take a different path today they don't want to engage themselves into wars. They actually want to work with countries peacefully. And that is why I keep saying that what China has done, it is completely unmatched. Check every superpower on earth here. Check every empire. The rise of every empire comes along with invasion, comes along with unaliving of people, the destruction of countries. China is the only country that has been able to rise to #1 economy without firing a single bullet. That is historic. And note, China has been able to move over 800 million people from poverty without firing a single bullet. That is historic. By the way, that is history for another day, or that is a topic for another day. So if you guys observe, I have decided to change the name from African 360 to Timo 360. The reason is simple. The reason is a lot of people were sending me messages that they find it very difficult to search for the African 360. So I was advised to change the name. By the way, I don't work alone. So if you, the viewers, are giving me your opinion, I have to actually take it. The reason is, when you search for the African 360, I didn't know this before creating the channel. There are a lot of channels already on YouTube here with the name African 360. So it makes it very difficult for you to find my channel, which is the African 360. It's very, very difficult. So I decided to change it from the African 360 to Timo 360, just to avoid all this confusion, just to avoid this mix up. So that is the reason why I decided to change it again to Timo 360. By the way, let me also take this opportunity once again and thank you guys again. Let me thank you guys again for subscribing to this channel. As time goes on, I will continue to post videos here constantly. If you guys observe on this platform for the past 3 days, I've been consistent. I'm releasing videos back to back to you guys. So please do subscribe to this channel. You are not going to regret it. Shalom. See you guys in the next episode.